the list of all the questions in Penacony are the fates of Firefly and Robin, who had seemingly died towards the end of the story. It's suggested that the evil robot Sam had used a sweet, little, innocent, but not so sweet and innocent that she couldn't see clocky Firefly as bait in his evil plan, but in actuality, I think Sam is being wrongfully vilified here and was trying to save Firefly from doing something rash, such as sacrificing herself to the monster. Robin on the other hand, it just seems like the bitch got caught lacking. However, they actually were not the first people to die in the story, as that honor goes right to the Trailblazer, who was killed by Acheron just to wake up in real life. This idea of dying in the dreamscape is just that, an idea, a figment of our imaginations, as ultimately, we've been told many times that when one dies in the dream world, they simply wake up in the real world. Now, I suppose Firefly and Robin's deaths were different in that they occurred in the deep sea, or well, Firefly's at least. However, this is still just a dream, no? It may be more of a visceral one than it's the real Penacony, but it's still a dream nonetheless. The only thing that makes these deaths different is the odd manner in which Sunday speaks of the meme, stating it brings spiritual death.
Somehow, a nightmare called death has descended upon Penacony, striking indiscriminately, bringing spiritual death to all equally.
Furthermore, the description of the meme states, quote, "Seen as the death that shouldn't exist in dreams, its sinister shadow wanders within the 12 hours, bringing unforeseen calamity wherever it goes." So it seems like dying to the meme is supposed to be different than any ordinary death in Penacony, but we'll have to see. Then there's also the case of Firefly's body vaporizing fairly quickly after her death, whereas Robin's lingers. We don't actually know where she died, we simply know where her body poofed into bubbles. This could be for gameplay related reasons, but who knows. In any case, what I wanted to focus on was how they died, because they both died in unusual circumstances, such as how is it they were both in the memory zone in the first place. For those unaware, the area the final part of the game took place in was the real Penacony, a dreamscape separate from the dream world built by the family, housing areas like Golden Hour. Black Swan described it as chaotic, dangerous, and enigmatic, and said that that's where the beast dwells. The first time we winded up there was thanks to Sparkle flicking us on our forehead, but the second time, that was because Silverwolf gave us a string of code that allowed us to directly enter the hotel in the memory zone. She probably also gave this code to Sam, and given Black Swan made a deal with Aventurine, she was probably the one who gave him access to the memory zone. But as for how Acheron, Firefly, and Robin found themselves in the deep sea, that's anyone's guess. Black Swan especially was very much confused running into Acheron and seeing Firefly in the memory zone. I suppose given Robin is part of the family, I mean, hell, Sunday called her the pride of the family. She could have just waltzed in there, but again, this is only assuming she actually died in the memory zone and not that her body was placed there post-mortem. But assuming she was there the whole time, what the fuck was she even doing down there? All dressed pretty and shit. It's like being the president's daughter and just pulling up to Brentwood one day and hoping nothing goes wrong. They don't discriminate against no one over there when it comes to crime. You could get shot, you could get shot, you could get shot. Joe asked back to the White House. As for how Firefly could have entered the memory zone, the answer is most likely Sam. When we examine the final moments leading up to her death, we learn Firefly was with someone called Mecha, who seemingly betrayed her towards the end of their mission, causing her untimely death. However, what if this isn't what it appears to be, my friends? And instead of Sam betraying Firefly, causing her death, he betrayed Firefly to stop her from going through with the plan of dying to the memory zone meme. There are a couple of things that happen that suggest this possibility, the first being the path Firefly and Sam took. If Sam really was hell-bent on sacrificing Firefly to the memory zone meme, why then would he force her into a random room that was seemingly a dead end? Acheron herself called this a trapped room, one in which he left her and then disappeared from.
Based on these fragmented pieces of information, it seems Firefly's companion betrayed her halfway and trapped her alone in this room, disappearing without a trace. But why?
Well, at first you could argue placing your bait in a trapped room is an effective method to ensure the plan works. Why then did Sam leave and simply not ensure she was really sacrificed? This is completely counterintuitive from how this should have played out if Sam really did want to use Firefly as bait to kill her. Rather, it seems like trapping her in a locked room was a means of stopping her from trying to do anything rash while he went to go deal with the actual problem. Especially given later we learn where the meme was. Eventually, when Firefly escapes from the room and makes it to the lobby, she says this.
She thought she had escaped, but
What does she mean if that's the case? Remember, when we ran into Firefly first, she was just standing around as if waiting for something. Could it be the rest of the sentence is, if that's the case, then this is where the monster is. This coincides with what Black Swan said when we first entered the lobby.
Watch out! A dangerous presence lurks nearby.
Furthermore, Firefly said she wants to try again right after talking about the monster and stating it had something to do with the Watchmaker. The first time we ran into the meme, Firefly didn't know what it was and merely thought it had something to do with the Watchmaker but wasn't sure of it. This could be why she wants to try again, because now she is sure it's related to the Watchmaker and now has the resolve to go through with her plan. Firefly told us herself she is one of the parties after the Watchmaker's legacy, and given she's suffering from a debilitating disease known as entropy loss syndrome, this could strengthen her resolve to take drastic actions such as this to capture the Watchmaker's legacy. As for why Firefly would do all this, Black Swan suggested there might be a, quote, deeper secret tucked away in the memory zone, one that requires the right baits. However, in the context she said this in, she was implying Sam used Firefly as baits, whereas I am saying that Firefly used Firefly as baits. All of this could help to explain why we saw Sam in the same place Firefly died, as he realized too late that she had escaped the room. The other odd thing about her moment of death was the meme itself. Sunday said the monster strikes indiscriminately, yet here it strikes pretty fucking discriminately. It made a beeline right for Firefly, quite literally blazing past the Trailblazer, get it? Blaze? Okay. And then promptly exited the scene without fighting anyone else. And a bit of a smaller thing with this one, but it could be the whole plan is the reason why she apologizes when she dies. And finally, I find it odd how if Firefly wasn't willing to die, she did nothing to prevent it. Let's not forget, the first time she ran into the meme, she clenched her fist as if she was about to take action before eventually releasing it. I'm not sure why she did this. It could be she didn't want to reveal her connection with Sam just yet, or somehow knew Black Swan was nearby and figured she didn't have to. Or she just wanted to die, who knows. And while we're on the topic, what is Firefly's connection with Sam? This is a weird one simply because of the way Sam has been described. According to Blade, Sam is an imposing armor, whereas Silverwolf describes Sam as a metal humanoid, whereas Welt calls him a genetically engineered warrior. Whether it's actually someone in the armor or the armor itself is alive isn't really known. However, I feel as if the idea that Firefly is Sam died the moment we saw Sam act independent of Firefly. Either that, or Firefly is some sort of prophet who decided to fake her last moments knowing Black Swan would look into her last moments right before her death. And if that's the case, the bitch is God and there should be no tension in the story because it's over. However, one thing I thought was interesting was Firefly stating she's in something. She's called an icy medical cabin. So, I mean, the idea that she could be in the armor and that's what's keeping her alive does make sense. But again, that wouldn't really clarify how there was two independent entities in Firefly's last moments. We also know Firefly couldn't see Clocky, so she clearly has some darkness deep within her. I'm sure there's some connection between Firefly and Sam, but dude, for the life of me, I don't know, bro. It can't be that Firefly is in Sam. Again, barring Firefly is the fucking prophet, Jesus Christ, it wouldn't really make sense. I just realized I barely spoke of Robin. I don't know. The bitch got caught lacking in the wrong part of town, man. It happens. I mean, with her, there just isn't much going on. Sunday's comment seemed to hint she died to the meme as well, but that's all it gives us. I mean, her stab wound suggests as much, given it's the same place Firefly was stabbed in, but this is quite literally all we know about her demise.